bucks. Now, normally I'm hesitant about doing Kickstarter funded project videos, but because these are supposed to start shipping in July and because it's only $50, like I said, this pair has something very innovative. This is the first pair of earbuds that I've seen that has interchangeable batteries. Alright guys, so today's video is on a pair of true wireless earbuds that I almost did not want to do this video on. But because they're offering something new and very innovative, I thought it was worth checking out. So the pair that we're going to check out are the PQ earbuds. Now, this is a pair that comes in retailing for $119, but it's actually a Kickstarter funded project, and it has an early bird price of only 50 bucks. Now, normally I'm hesitant about doing Kickstarter funded project videos, but because these are supposed to start shipping in July and because it's only $50, I felt like it's worth talking about. Plus, Kickstarter for the most part has your back if the company doesn't deliver on getting you the product. But like I said, this pair has something very innovative. This is the first pair of earbuds that I've seen that has interchangeable batteries. Basically looks like a pair of AirPod Pros with a slightly longer stem, and the stem part itself is the battery, and it just magnetically connects to the earbud, and they give you a backup pair, which means as soon as your battery's dead, you just take the stem part off, put it in the case, grab the other battery, magnetically connect it to your earbud, and you can just keep going. So you can tell that the whole focus of this is just to make it where you don't have downtime. So if you're somebody at work that likes to listen to music or watch movies or videos and take phone calls, you can just keep that going all day, even if you work like a 12-hour shift. So I can see where this is going to be beneficial to a lot of people. But we need to check out some of the other specs, the features, and how these sound, and see if it's even worth the $50 price tag. Now, on a side note, before we get really deep into this product, I do want to point out that on their Kickstarter, they even pointed out that you can just detach the magnet and reattach it in a way to entertain yourself.
All I have to do is hold them like this, and they stick together without any glue or tape.
They kind of compare it to the entertainment value of a fidget spinner. It's just something interesting because I've never seen a company describe their earbuds that way. And they also even describe these as looking like a pea shooter. Another thing I've never seen a company compare their product to. Now, as far as the technology that these have, they do have Bluetooth 5.0, but they only have AAC and SBC playback. So there's no aptX playback, but AirPods only have AAC and SBC. And it also says that they're using a dual chip design to cut down on any kind of latency with movies and videos and gaming, which I actually think it did a good job here. I did only notice a slight lag when it came to gaming. So if you are going to watch movies or watch videos and things like that, this is a pair that does actually hold up pretty well. Now, as far as using these outdoors, I didn't think they'd have any kind of IP rating at all, especially because they have the removable parts, but they actually come in rated at IPX5. So if you're going to be sweating heavily or they get splashed or rained on, they're going to be fine. This is just not one of those pairs that you would want to submerge into water. Now, as far as what all they're including inside the box, it actually comes with 4 sets of silicone ear tips. You can see that it's in this little plastic carrying case. Now, they also give you 2 additional carrying cases. That way, if you buy additional batteries, you can keep them in here and it just kind of keeps them from rolling around in your bag. It's just easier to keep up with. So it is nice that they do add this in the box. Now, as far as the charging cable, it does come with a very generic looking USB-C cable. Now, this does not match the model that I have because it's a black case with more of a metallic finish on the earbuds. Now, they do actually offer these in a white version, and they have the stems available in a bunch of different colors. So they do have different options. Again, I will have the Kickstarter page linked in the description, so just check out anything that you want to check out there. So now let's move over to what the main thing you would be looking at these for. We can now talk about the battery life, which it says you can get 6 hours on the earbuds themselves, and you can get 150 hours on the case. So doing the math, you would be able to switch out these stems 25 times before needing to charge the actual case. And the way to keep up with all of this is on the front of the case, you see 5 indicator lights. You can see there's two that are L&R, that's the left and the right earbud. And then you have B1, B2, which is battery 1, battery 2. And then you have C, which is your case. So I do like that it has an indicator light for everything that you need to keep up with, because there is a lot you have to keep up with. So as far as the rest of the case, I do like the leatherish type design that the lid has. It has their logo right up top. On the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging. And then the rest of it is just plastic, but it has a solid feel to it. But when you open up the lid, this is where you can now see the earbuds and you see the ports for the additional batteries. And I think for the most part, they kept the case small enough to still be able to house everything. Everything works by magnets, so the two additional batteries are just holding on there with a magnet, and the same thing with the earbuds. Now, speaking of the magnets, this is where I think there is a little bit of an issue, because while you're wearing these, the magnets on the earbuds themselves actually do come off pretty easily. So you really can't just grab the stem and adjust the earbuds because the stem comes off and just disconnects your earbud. And you really can't touch the earbud part itself because it uses touch controls. So even if you go to adjust it, you will tap it and it will pause your music. So that does get a little frustrating. And another thing that's frustrating is, as far as the controls go, they give you control over everything but volume. For some reason, this company, just like a lot of other companies we've seen recently, does not have volume control. And since these do not work with an app, there's not going to be a way to update these. So I don't see them adding this in the future. But because this Kickstarter funded project hasn't shipped yet, maybe this is something they can fix before they start shipping these out. Now, for you guys that like to use one earbud at a time, you can use either the left or the right. And then as far as the microphones on this pair, I don't really think it's doing a very good job of picking up my voice. I felt like things sounded pretty muffled overall, and I think somebody on the other end of a call might actually have a hard time understanding what you're trying to say. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is the mic test. I think the mics kind of make my voice sound a little muffled. It may be a little harder for people to tell exactly what you're saying on the other end. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because this is one area where these are not going to win any type of awards. You could definitely give them an innovative award for the battery design, but when it comes to sound, this pair definitely feels like it's holding back pretty much all the time. And to kind of explain this, most consumer style products and just most earbuds and headphones in general have somewhat of a U-shaped sound signature, which means the bass is pushed up a little bit so that you can feel the impact of bass. And the treble's pushed up in a way where things come through cleaner and clearer. And so it just kind of goes towards a dynamic sound in general. And this pair has what I would consider a capital A sound signature, which means the bass feels like it's being held back, the treble feels like it's being held back, but the mids are pushed way too forward, where it sounds like vocalists and guitars and everything are so far up front in the mix that everything else just sounds at a distance. It lacks detail. It's not something that works really great across all genres. If I were to say anything, I think if you're listening to podcasts or watching TV shows and things like that, I think it works well there because obviously all of the dialogue is going to be up front. But going across different genres of music, I think like rock and metal, just being able to hear guitars and the singer but not feel the drums or feel the bass guitar, it just pulls you out of listening to that. And same thing with like mainstream music. You're not feeling bass and you're not hearing like the synthesizer and a lot of details and stuff in the songs, that it just makes it sound like you're listening to a somewhat cheap Bluetooth speaker at a distance. It's not something that, in my opinion, is very enjoyable to listen to, but if you are somebody that's going to use these mainly for podcasts and watching shows while at work, and you're somebody that really needs long battery life, I can see that being the selling point, but still overall, there's the cons of this feeling like a first gen product. The fact that it doesn't have volume control, which again is common in a lot of earbuds now. It's hard to adjust the earbuds without touching the play and pause or just removing the battery in general. So all in all, it's kind of frustrating to use. But I think for those people that are looking for the battery life and those other things, if you can get it for the $50 price tag, I would maybe recommend it there. But the $119 price tag is way too high. There's so many other better options, especially based off sound alone. And in fact, there's a lot of earbuds out there where the case gives them 100+ hours of battery life anyway. So there are other options. There's just not a lot of options that can just give you a constant use because of the interchangeable batteries. But that just kind of depends on how important that is to you. But guys, that's my video on the PQ earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.